Yeah, you. You've never seen a Virge video before? Oh, man. Well, check this out. Hey, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a 5 tips for new players video where we go over 5 of the most important things that I think there are to learn when starting this game out. For those of you who don't know, my name is Virge. I have been a coach in the RLCS for almost 3 years now. I coached Allegiance previously, and I'm currently the coach of Dignitas. I've been coaching them since Season 8. We're currently in our Season X of RLCS, and in all the time I've been coaching, I've spent a lot of time in front of a screen. And if you plan on getting better at Rocket League, you probably will too. So I wanted to start this video off with a bonus tip courtesy of our sponsor, GMG Performance. GMG Performance makes blue light blocking glasses to help reduce the strain that all of this screen time has on our eyes. The blue light produced by all the screens we have in our lives can cause long-term damage and even mess with our sleep. Thankfully, these glasses act as a shield against the blue light, helping to reduce the strain on our eyes that our screens may cause. I've been wearing them every time I game for a few weeks now, and I personally notice my eyes feeling consistently less fatigued at the end of my day, and even during my work, it almost feels easier to look at my monitors thanks to their glasses. I definitely suggest clicking the link below as soon as possible because there's a Halloween sale going on from now until November 1st. That's an entire 40% off. Click the link in the description to find out more. Thanks again to GMG Performance for the bonus tip. And now, let's go ahead and jump into this, starting off with the first tip that I think new players should all go through, which is your camera settings. When you first start the game, the first thing we're going to do is turn camera shake off. We're going to uncheck that box. It's a useless setting. It only adds to how hard it is to play the game and get used to it. Your camera just goes crazy. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. This is by default what your camera is going to look like. Not the best at all. So we're gonna go over to camera settings and we're gonna up that field of view to 110. And you're gonna see it's gonna kind of zoom out a little bit and stretch my screen in front of me. Field of view is just gonna allow you to see more of the field in front of you. Distance is gonna be how close we are to the car. You see as I lower it, we get closer to the car. As I bring it up, we get further away. Most pros are gonna use somewhere between 220 and 280, 290, that area. Now we're gonna come to height. Height is how high up above your car the camera is. You can see it moving around. My height is 100, but typically pros are somewhere between 90 and 120, usually 110 or so, but I use 100, it's good balance. Camera angle is how angled our camera is down at the car. So the lower the angle, the more we are looking down at the car. The higher the angle, the more level we are with the car on the ground. So I personally use -4, but most pros use somewhere between -3 and -5, maybe -6. Stiffness is how stuck to our car the camera is. So you'll see if I bring stiffness all the way up, let's bring it all the way up. You'll see that as I turn, my camera moves with my car right away. The moment I turn, the camera turns with it, and my car stays in the middle of the screen at all times. Now if we bring stiffness down, we're going to see that the car is able to move around the screen a little bit more. There's a little bit more wiggle room on where the car is going. As the car turns, the camera doesn't quite turn as much as the car does. It allows the car to kind of slide off the screen based on its momentum. It is preference. I personally use 0.65. It's a nice balance for me. Swivel speed is just how quickly we're moving our camera like this. And personally, I'm going to throw that onto 420 for the memes.
Smoke weed every day.
Transition speed is how quickly we're going to transition between the ball and the car cameras. I like to leave it on 1 because I like getting information between. I like knowing what's in between my car and my ball when I'm looking at it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that at 1, but we're going to move on to the second tip. The second tip is going to be your control bindings. Now, I know that we haven't gotten into anything gameplay yet, but these are really important when you're starting out Rocket League, especially your control bindings, because if you don't switch these now, you're going to have an even harder time switching them later when you've got 1,000 hours already put into the game, and now you have to switch a binding. You're just learning you have to change something. So we're going to go into controls, we're going to view our bindings. I'm going to talk you through what good bindings are. What does a good set of control bindings look like? So a good set of control bindings is going to be any set of bindings that allows you to press a certain set of inputs together without making a mistake. So there's no real good bindings. You can't ever say these are the best bindings or these. It's all preference on how you hold your controller, what's comfortable for you. And I'm going to go over personally what's most comfortable for me and show you guys why I have my settings the way I do. So as long as you can push these buttons in any combination of 2, without pressing something on accident or without struggling to press those buttons, then you have good bindings. So the buttons that you need to be able to press are jump, boost, air roll, power slide, and ball cam. If you can push any combination of those buttons in any combination of 2 without messing up or without straining to push something, then you have good bindings. It's really important that you're able to do those things in any combination, because there's going to be plenty of times where you have to jump and boost at the same time. There's going to be times where you have to boost, drift, and jump. There's going to be times where you have to, jump and press ball cam at the same time, or so on and so forth. You have to be able to press those buttons in any combinations. So if you can do that, then you have good bindings. We go down, these are all default. Jump is default. Now boost, I have switched to R1 because I hold 2 fingers on my controller. On the triggers and on the bumpers, I use my pointer finger on the bumpers and my middle fingers on the trigger. So R1 is boost. It's a very easy button for me to push, and I can push that pretty easily while I push other things as well. Now power slide and air roll, I have moved to L1. I think it's really, really crucial that you keep these 2 buttons, or these 2 mechanical inputs on the same button, because it allows you to transition from drifting to air rolling when you jump, or from air rolling into drifting when you land. It just allows for a seamless transition from ground to air and air to ground much more consistently than if you have them on 2 separate buttons. Focus on ball we've got on default, rear view we have on default, everything else default. Now we get to air roll right and left. These are 2 bindings that I don't suggest you really start to mess with until you've gotten a hang of the regular air roll, which is for me holding L1. Once you understand how the regular air roll works, I think then you can start to implement these, but it wouldn't hurt to add these in now, even if you're not going to use them. I have my air roll right on circle and my air roll left on square. Those are 2 buttons that are easy for me to push without having to push anything else on accident. I'll get into another video. I'll go over why air roll right and air roll left are so important at a high level. But when you're starting out, it's really, really important that you learn the regular air roll bind first and then move on to these as you get more advanced in your car control. Skip replay. All this is default. Scoreboard, I have moved to my share button or select button on other controllers. It's just the default scoreboard button for me on consoles, like on Call of Duty when I used to play that game. The scoreboard was always on this button, and so it makes it easier for me to use the scoreboard, and it doesn't take up a binding somewhere else that I could be using for a different controller. Now, moving into the next tip that I have for new players is play, free play, and training packs. These are going to be your best friends when you're learning the game. If you are new to the game, or if you are struggling to improve at the game, you want to master free play and master practicing training packs. Now, free play is found here under play, training, free play, and it's just like it sounds. It's free play. It's a free, open environment for you to do whatever you want, wherever you want, however you want, with no punishments, no repercussions, nothing of that sort. So you can do and practice anything you want to do in this free play area, and I promise you, this is going to help you improve the game tremendously. Now, there's a couple things that you can do specifically in free play that will help you. One of the things that I like to do is practice my ball control. I like to practice keeping the ball close to me, keeping the ball up, and just trying to control it around the field on top of my car and close to me as much as I can. This is a really good drill to learn close ball control. Another drill that's really good is setting yourself up with a bouncing ball moving pretty quickly. And the objective here is to keep yourself at high speed and keep the ball moving at high speed and try and read the bounce, get to the ball, and get another hard hit. So we're going to do this over and over and over, and this is going to increase the pace at which you're able to play the game. You're going to be able to control your car much better. You're going to be able to control the ball at high speeds. You're going to be able to find powerful hits on any type of angle. You're going to be able to read the bounce better. You're going to get better at recoveries and really everything. If you just ball chase and try to keep the ball moving quickly, then you're going to find yourself improving much faster by doing this. Your pace of play is going to increase, and you're going to feel much more comfortable at higher levels online. Now, another free play drill that you can do, I've talked about this in a previous video, where you can just hold your car up in the air as long as you can. Just practice getting general control of holding yourself in the air. Now, you don't have to spin around like me. That's just something that I'm doing because holding myself in the air without much movement does get a little bit boring because of how easy it's become for me. So I add in new things to increase my car control, and that's what you should do yourself. Anytime you get good at something, you should add a new element to it just to make it that much harder for yourself, and you're improving your car control that much more. Now, as far as training packs go, we're gonna go to custom training packs. A lot of the featured and browse training packs are really good for certain things, but sometimes it can be hard to find that specific training pack that you're looking for. I highly suggest finding specific training packs, and so you can search for them on YouTube or Google or Reddit, or find them in places where people make training packs. Tons of people make them, and I would suggest learning how to make your own training pack. This is super crucial. If you don't know how to make your own training packs, it's super easy, and you can practice any shots you want, because if you want to practice something, let's say I want to practice an air dribble, if I can set it up in a training pack, then I can practice it exactly the way that I want to every single time. So you're going to see here, I'm just going to set up a quick training pack shot where the ball rolls into the wall, and now all of a sudden I have the perfect setup to practice air dribbles exactly the way I want to, from exactly the spot that I want to. So if I'm struggling to hit air dribbles from the back of my field instead of the midfield, I'm going to throw it a little bit further back, and now again we can practice it from a little bit further back. And so again, training packs are super beneficial. You want to be able to find the ones that help you specifically, but you also want to be able to make your own so that you can fine-tune your training to exactly what you want. Moving on to the next tip, this one's kind of obvious. A lot of people do this anyway, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't do something like this. I highly suggest that if you're trying to get better at this game, you watch tutorials or you watch other people play the game that are better than you. Now, it's extremely helpful to watch people that are better than you play the game, because you're going to see things that they do that you can also do, but you just don't have as much time in the game to think of it. Or you just have one little thing about a mechanic that you're doing slightly wrong, and you see somebody who's better than you do it, and you notice the difference between how it looks when you do it and how it looks when they do it. Truthfully, if you're watching somebody better than you or watching one of the many tutorials that are on YouTube, then you're going to be seeing things that are coming from somebody with more hours than you. If they have more time in the game than you, they have spent more time making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. And I promise you, if you watch these videos or you watch players who are better than you are going to save yourself literally thousands of hours. When I first started playing this game, we didn't even have training packs. We didn't have tutorial videos. Nobody was out there helping you, showing you how to do the next move. It was all figuring it out on our own. So I had to spend thousands and thousands of hours learning these new skills, or even learning that a skill is possible in the first place before practicing it. And you guys have access to these resources that we didn't have back then. So I promise you, if you watch tutorials, you watch other people play that are better than you, you're going to skip so many mistakes that you would have made if you didn't watch them. If you don't know what tutorials to watch, go ahead and check out my channel. I have a ton of tutorials on there. I've got mechanical tutorials, I have rotational tutorials, and I'm always working on the next tutorial. I'm always working on the next skill that I can help you get better at. So make sure, again, you subscribe to the channel, like this video if you want to see more educational content coming out to help you guys get better at this game. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about, the final tip, is to play the team game, but also to keep playing 1v1s. Now, this game is a team game. It is soccer if you're from the US, or football if you're from Europe, and it is a team game. It is all centered around the team keeping possession and creating chances as a team, as a unit. But it is important that you continue to refine your individual abilities. Now, 1v1s is the best place to practice those skills that you're practicing in training or in free play, but against somebody. If you're in a 1v1, you're responsible for everything that happens on your team. You're responsible for the kickoff, you're responsible for the shots, the saves, the possessions, you're responsible for challenges. You learn everything there is to learn about playing Rocket League against somebody else in 1v1s much faster than you would learn these things playing in a team environment in 3s or 2s, because then you're only going for the kickoff every third kickoff, or you're only taking the shot once every 15 opportunities on offense. But if you are playing 1v1s, you're going to find yourself taking those chances every single time on your own, and it's going to force you to improve much faster. But that being said, do not forget that it is a team game. A lot of people like to be selfish with the ball. They like to take it for themselves and always go for the shot by themselves. You have to understand that Rocket League is at its core a team game that requires teamwork. If you are not working as a team, you are not going to be beating most of the people you play against. So I highly encourage you guys to continue looking to pass to your teammates, or looking to give your teammates passes that they can pass out to if they don't have the best possession or if they don't have control. You're giving them an option to pass to. You're looking to constantly support your teammates. You're looking to constantly help them out, and never really take the game into your own hands per se. Now, of course, this isn't always the case. Sometimes you do, but for the most part, if you continue playing Rocket League like a team game and you continue thinking about your teammates and your team as a whole, it's going to make the game more fun. It's going to make the game more enjoyable. and you're going to learn really quickly that team environment is extremely important for succeeding in this game if you want to get better. So make sure that you continue to play ones and continue grinding your individual abilities, and then you continue thinking of the game as a team game when you go to play 2s or 3s, because that's really what it is. You're bringing your individual abilities into a team environment, making the team better as a whole and not just yourself. So with all this being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something from it, and I hope you go into Rocket League with the same excitement that I have for this game. It's truly so much fun to get better and just improve every single day and go out online onto the pitch and show off the skills that I've been practicing for hours and hours in training, or work as a team with somebody and score a crazy passing play with somebody you're not even talking to. It's just so much fun to be involved in this community and in this game, and I hope you guys stick around. It is challenging, but it is so worth it. So hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure that you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and comment down below the next tutorial you want to see. But most importantly, and as always, thanks for watching.
Baby, don't touch me.